We now return to Let's Play Anno 1404, this time with more post-commentary. And more production problems, or rather overproduction problems. I'm full up on all of my building materials on this island, because I really don't have anything else that I'm building. And production on that island is finally at a pace where we're about to finish those quests. Northborough continues to get on my nerves because of his constant messaging.
One of your plants has stopped producing goods.
It's getting a little bit ridiculous right now. So, of course, the only way to alleviate that is to get rid of the goods that are holding up production. Yeah. Lumberjacks at this point, not entirely necessary. However, it's worth more to just actually sell them. I'm not selling my wood. I'm selling the tools. Need to be selling a bit more, because they're holding up the works. But, yeah, I decide it's a little bit better to make some money with this, rather than just spend at half cost. Actually, turning them down, the lumberjack huts looked like they were so low in upkeep costs that turning them off just shut them off completely, which is nice. We're finally ready for the paper and indigo, though. Finally realized that that was the quest. It had nothing to do with the books. But the books themselves are almost done, so just speed up the game a little bit, and there it is, finally. Finally, the two big things holding up this whole chapter. Well, really the one big thing. Because Hilarious is a side quest, and it's not a necessary side quest either. But we had to get one by going through the other, so it's time now to set up book production on the trade route so that I can start pushing it towards my patricians. Of course, I make sure I've got enough in stock before I send it to them. Beer needs a little bit of help. We're starting to fill up, but it's not filling up fast enough, and I want to make sure that it's not going to run out too soon. So it's time to just add another branch to the beer production. Thankfully, this area that I've left here has got plenty of space. And really, that's all I can put in there now at this point anyway. That's fine, though. We don't need more population at this point. We are probably overpopulated. And if I cut some of that back, probably help myself out on the resource consumption problems. My money has dipped significantly since the beginning of last episode as well. But hopefully, with their needs met, patricians will produce a little bit more money. And I decided to leave the taxes at mid-level since they don't have the other two requirements yet to go up. So there's no point in losing out on that revenue. And there's where I noticed that the fish are not producing enough. So got to take out some of this useless wharf slash dock slash whatever and fit in something a little bit more useful. I guess aesthetically it's nice, but man, it is pointless having that there.
Is that them?
Are these they?
Bless you. These Bibles probably won't stop the crusade, but they might bring a few people to their senses.
Yeah, so 60 pointless honor, whatever. And for the next quest, it is not on that island, but that island. We can finally get this chapter moving. It's taking a little bit too long, I think, and this will be wrapped up here shortly. Well, relatively shortly. And while I'm at it, I decide that I may as well just get rid of all of my basic materials that are causing problems. Because they're being produced, they're just not going anywhere, so they may as well be making me money and going out the door.
Excellent.
Rather than sitting in the warehouse and me paying upkeep. The beer just is not really doing its thing, and fish is still a precarious curious commodity. So, pretty much maxed out my shoreline for that unless I want to take out a storehouse, which is something I could do, but since I've already maxed out in so many things, I think it'd be really hard to do. I could put another storehouse on the other side of that warehouse, maybe. But that probably won't be necessary. And a sharp turn there for whatever reason. I don't understand the pathfinding there, but maybe he was trying to tack into the wind.
Have the paper and indigo for my transcription. Excellent. The captain writes that there were originally 3 ships at sea. Hassan ben Sahid had put his strongbox on board one of the ships and had entrusted another with the key. So, there were 2 more corsair ships. The tempestuous seas caused the corsair in the sister ship's crow's nest to lose his hold. He toppled into the sea just as he was about to warn his captain that he was steering the ship straight towards the reef.
So now we have another quest. And for this one, I feel like I should have a little bit more of a fleet.
It says in the logbook that the 3 corsair ships were caught in that storm. A gigantic wave took hold of one of the ships and flung it onto a nearby island where it was dashed to pieces.
So there are 2 quests. Luckily the shipbuilding doesn't take too long.
Marie d'Artois' fleet is regrouping. The next attack is imminent. Quick! Bring me the strongbox and the key.
Alright. So even though he's panicking, the enemy ships do not actually come about just yet. They're just harassing the NPC ships, which is fully acceptable. But they're not hostile just yet. So I have 2 options for where I want to go and explore, and I figured that the shipwreck would have enemies, possibly.
Shipbuilding completed.
But, yeah, we've got our ships already. There's another island over there. We'll come back to that later.
One of your plants has stopped producing goods.
I stay out of range just because.
Get a move on, you sluggards. You're supposed to be searching, not standing there gawping.
Okay. Because I didn't know if I'd be engaged.
Guy Focus, not a Ken. By Allah, that must be the reef where the corsair ship was smashed to smithereens. Can you see the wreck anywhere?
Yeah, the big arrow over it.
One of your plants has stopped producing
I find it unrealistic they couldn't see that.
You're right. That must be the corsair wreck. But Focus has gathered an entire fleet here. We'll need to help to drive him away. My shipyard builders believe that only Oriental warships stand a chance against Focus's ships. I'll build some and let you have them if you can supply me with war machines.
So yet another stumbling block on our way.
One of your plants has stopped producing goods.
And turns out you have to get to noblemen in order to be able to manufacture the war machines. So, of course, I need the infrastructure that is necessary for all of that. And just send my ships on ahead to get the other half of this quest while we wait. Unfortunately, it doesn't take too much effort. I've got the books ready, and all I've got to do now is build that stupid debtor's prison that Hilarious has been
supplies from my goat herds haven't arrived. I fear Madame d'Artois may have attacked their island. Could you just sail past the island in your warships and see what is happening?
And this is very convenient right here because it is literally on the way. It is the island that was discovered.
I beg you, you must intervene. Can't you see that those people are unarmed?
And,
Join me to fight for the just cause, or prepare to meet your doom. You decide now.
my small little fleet there is enough to do this, and fortunately for me, the enemy ships don't seem to care at all that I'm firing on them. So it's really just an easy matter.
We shall return to the harbour. There are plenty of other islands where the Crusaders' encampment can be built.
I can't just leave these people here. Would you be so kind as to bring them here to me? Thank you. I pray to Allah that your voyage will be uneventful.
So even as I send them off in preparation, I then have to detour once again. But I get the whole fleet met up and just finish this stupid little side quest. It's easy enough, but really unnecessary, I feel. And those two are a little bit far ahead. The up until the very end, this size fleet, though, is adequate for what we need to do. Paper production needs a little bit of help. And here, finally, I decide that it's a distribution problem, and start working to fix it. So we get some nice new roads that are really out of place, actually. Just going nowhere to some lumber mills, lumberjack huts.
I thank Allah that you have arrived here unharmed. I shall look after these people from now on. You put yourself in danger to rescue my people. I am greatly indebted to you. The people are seeking my protection. I don't know how many more I can take in.
Okay, finally I can continue on with them. And get distracted once again because I don't quite remember.
Just escaped with their lives. By Allah.
Man,
To stop
the
this
repeat
injustice.
messaging, and why won't he just go away? Yeah, so I need a new trade ship.
My people are fleeing from the blonde commander's attacks. They cannot defend themselves.
Go away,
Shipbuilding
Alzahir.
completed. An island was sighted.
And I need that ship so that I have another free trader.
We'll never find it like this. We'll come back later.
The wreck! You found it! I can't believe a stormy sea could have hurled it so far into the desert. The storm has spread the cargo over the entire island. We must find it all and search through it. Quick, before Guy Fawkes comes back.
Fairly easy.
We have found Hassan Ben Said's key. There is a glimmer of hope that we may still be able to stop this war. Now then, what have we here? The goods have been stowed away, but we didn't find what we were looking for.
Yeah, so the rest of the goodie crates are just nice little things that are kind of pointless at this point.
Now then,
They don't really help me all that
goods have been
much.
stowed away.
I built that trader up there, though, so that I had my fleet
Goods
available,
have been stowed away.
so I didn't have to keep sending them back for future missions where they need me to transport something. I can keep my fleet together and not be distracted anymore.
The goods have been stowed away.
So I don't really need to scour all of those crates, but I guess I misunderstood the quest, and I figured that the lockbox would be on this as well, even though we saw earlier, it's on the wrecked Corsair ship. But in my addled brain, I thought something else had to be done before we were able to complete that. But no. So, spend a little bit too much time getting down there and trying to scour the desert underneath the sandstorm, looking for a crate that does not exist. And I can't really do anything else until I get to the nobleman stage, so that I can continue on with that. So, at any point here, I'll realize it's time to give up. Go do something else. Can send them back to Al-Zahir, but can't really do much anyway. Almost enough glass. Still need 4 more. A little bit late. I decide that I should build another one. Another glass production chain. But it's needed to have the glass as well for our patricians, because glass becomes something that is required for upgrading to noblemen. So having it come about just a little bit faster is kind of important. Almost as important as upgrading my roadways would have been. Making sure that the distribution network goes a little bit faster. Beer is still not in a position I'm comfortable with. I feel like I turned that on just a little bit too early, and they started using it. But 2 of the breweries should be enough for that population, even if just barely. I think 2 of them can sustain like close to 1,500. I don't remember offhand. So I decided to build a charcoal hut over there, because I need the space over here.
Production has been disrupted.
And that is largely just to continue on with things that will speed up production of goods that I need. I mean, we're out of beer completely. So it's getting taken as soon as it's being made. So it is necessary to make sure that all the supplies are being placed in. And of course, it's got to be offset just a little bit, which still doesn't work out very well. But it does leave space on the other side.
Production has been disrupted.
Not with that road in the way, though. I really do not like having to put down everything haphazardly like this. But the islands for the campaign tend to be on the small side. Fortunately, I still have plenty of room where I can expand for the beer production. They don't take up much room, and of course, it doesn't quite fit. So it's time to just do it over again, I guess. Even though really this could be a fairly inefficient... Well, it's an inefficient layout, but it could have just been an inefficient herb garden to begin with, and then I wouldn't have had to worry about it at all. So 3 breweries should definitely start making enough. I mean, it's enough that they have their needs fulfilled, but it's not enough that I'm comfortable with. And with all that dilly-dallying, finally I've got enough of the glass made so that I can go and build that stupid debtor's prison to continue the next requirements. All this just so we can get to the last bit. I saved some of that glass in there because I figured, I don't know, I'd probably use it for more building. It's going to go inside the trade route eventually anyway, so that really doesn't matter.
We have to stop this injustice.
A lot of notifications. I wish they would just, like, auto-dissolve after a certain time.
In precious... The danger of war hasn't been averted yet.
Yeah.
The people are seeking my protection. I don't know how many...
The canned lines, really. Yep, back to this island, where I do notice something. Part of the shipwreck is inexplicably over on the other side of the island and is selectable.
My people are fleeing from the blonde
Which, of course, prompts me to go on an expedition to try and pick it up. Alright, so this is an unfortunate placement, but it does take in everybody that we need it to take in. Originally I want to put it on the left side, but then I realized that there's a house there that will not be connected to a road if I do that. So it has to go over on the other side, which is not as optimally placed as far as coverage is concerned. But everyone still has access to a road, and they're not just going to walk out their front door into a building.
Ah, that's much better. As you can see, I was right. The bailiff really has his hands full.
Well, my business isn't making much profit, but at least I'm not falling into debt.
And the needs should now be fulfilled to the point where they will begin to upgrade. Probably don't need to turn on all of the lower ones, because we really don't need them to keep pushing up. But the noblemen should be ready to go. I just don't realize that they need glass at this point. So all other requirements are close to being done. Still can't get that shipwreck to produce anything useful, because it won't. Anyway, I will see you next time.